Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show, brought to you by Spreely TV. Oh, man, is it getting hard? It's getting so hard. It's, once you put your feet into this refuse, that is the swamp of DC, you start noticing trends and you start noticing the opportune time to release stories. And then when not so opportune times come about. Jamaal Bowman, you all know who he is, Mr. Fire Alarm. The guy that didn't learn it in high school and elementary school that you don't pull a fire alarm. New video has come out. It's damning. You got to stick around and watch it right after this.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more f***ed up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party.
Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear again. Still Point. They are the Don't Unfriend Me band. Yes, we have a band. A two-tier justice system. Jamaal Bowman. You may remember that there was a debt ceiling limit and a budget that was to be balanced, and Kevin McCarthy was ousted and Matt Gaetz. Remember all these things, but there's something else that happened. Was Mr. Fire Alarm, Mr. Jamaal Bowman, decided to pull a fire alarm while leaving his office when there were signs all around that said, "Don't do it." But we never really saw the video, even though we asked for it. There were still pictures, but they really didn't tell the story other than he did pull it, and it looked bad. Why would they wait for so long to release the video of him actually doing the dirty deed? Well, now we know, because when you watch it, you'll understand. Here's the photograph that we had, and you notice there's no signage on the interior of the door. There's some on the exterior. And this is the only thing we see. And it looks fairly innocuous, not him pulling it, but there weren't any giant red flags, so to speak, saying, don't do it, don't pull the fire alarm, even though everybody knows you don't pull a fire alarm. Now, you remember I did a show on this, and I told you that I was most certain that this was a petulant tirade based upon Mr. Bowman's checkered past. Well, we'll show you that, put that on trial tonight, and then come back and show you my finer points of why I think and what I think should happen to Mr. Bowman. Here's the statement he put out, highlighted in yellow. That's the real important part. But I want to be very clear. This was not me in any way trying to delay any vote. It was the exact opposite. And that's probably a good thing, considering that would be insurrection, according to the Democrats. I was trying to urgently to get to a vote, which I ultimately did, and joined my colleagues in a bipartisan effort to keep our government open. Well, it's amazing they use bipartisan only when it suits them. Here's a video of this level-headed Bowman, this man of the men, the Renaissance man, Mr. Poised himself, lighting into Thomas Massey in the halls of Congress.
Cowards, they're gutless, they're not here. I'm talking about gun violence.
There's never been
I'm talking about gun
in
violence.
a school that allows teachers to carry.
Oh my God. Carry guns? You think more guns lead to more death? More guns lead to more death. Look at the data. You're not looking at any data. You're carrying the water for the gun lobby. Look at the data. More guns lead to more deaths. States that have open carry laws have more death. States that have open carry laws have more death. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Calm down. Children are dying. 9-year-old children. The solution is not armament.
Oh, the emotional fallacy is coming out. I mean, you know how hard it is for me not to say. I'm just going to zip it. I'm just going to let you watch the show. We're on a timetable.
Have you ever worked in a school? Have you ever worked in a school?
That's a great question. Have you ever worked in a school where they don't pull fire alarms? Okay, that's the last time, I swear. I promise. Sorry.
Have you ever worked in a school? Have you ever worked in a school? It's a yes or no question. Have you ever worked in a school? You will not answer my question. Don't stop and talk to me. Okay, I'll bring it down a notch.
Here's another one with. Here's the other one with MTG. Even when you turn him off, he's still echoing in the confines of space. Here's MTG, and I think this one is hilarious because this is like 2-year-olds fighting for a lollipop. But still, you get to kind of see some of this emotionally stable representative who is the constituents of his people and holds them to a higher level of conscience. And he has the debate skills of, once again, the aforementioned 2-year-old.
The party's hanging by a thread.
We gotta get rid of Biden.
The party's hanging by a thread. You gotta save the party. Listen, no more QAnon. No more MAGA.
No more CNN.
No more debt ceiling nonsense. Come on now. Save the party.
No, we gotta
save
the
America.
country.
Save the
Biden.
children.
Save the
Do
country.
something about guns.
Right, so close
Come
the
on.
border.
Invest in
Close the
education.
border. Save the
The
children.
border is
What about
what
the
Trump
children?
left.
Hey,
What are
where
you
are all the
talking
kids?
about?
Where are all the migrant
What
children?
kids?
You guys have
We're
lost
accepting
them.
them. We love
no,
them.
you've lost
We
them.
love the
There's
migrant
tens
children.
of
What do you
thousands
mean lost
missing.
them?
You can't find them.
Hey, honest, Democrats saying they love kids.
That's
talking
your
about?
administration.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, migrant children are missing. You don't know the news.
No, we don't know the news.
Oh, you
That's Fox
sadly
News.
listened before.
That's
Hey,
Fox
let me
News.
tell you
Listen,
something,
I
Jamal.
need you to
Not
save
very
the party.
smart. You should pay attention. She ain't worth it, bro.
Save the party.
She ain't worth it, bro. She ain't worth it. She ain't worth it.
And then, of course, AOC has to be there as well. This is who we've selected to represent us, really. These people aren't able to have a conversation. I do it all the time. I bring people on the show. I've had people who are anti-Semites, racists. I've had every form of men-hating lesbians on my show. It doesn't matter. And I've had Christian conservatives and zealots on my show. It doesn't matter. All walks of life. If you can't find commonality with people, then we have no hope. But the new video that you're about to find is more palpable than that. It's not just semantics and tomfoolery in theater anymore. It's blatant lies. And they're being caught. Long gone are the days of Gary Hart having a woman on his lap and the entire world melting down, or Bill Clinton and a dress. Those things don't matter. In fact, politicians lie so often and so regularly that it's expected. And things like this, with this new video, don't really matter either. Watch this. As you see Jamaal go to the door, we now have the full video, and it tells a much different tale. You're going to see the 3 signs, one on the left door, right door, and in the front, that all say, emergency, do not open this door. At this point, he gets upset, and he slaps the signs off the door because he can't get out. The interesting thing is, he assumes it's going to open, and then he almost falls. And then he walks over and he pulls the fire alarm in a fit of rage. No looking at it, no staring at it, no reading it, just simply knowing exactly what was there and saying, I'm going to pull it. I imagine that he has tried to leave from this area before and had the same result of the doors being locked on the weekend, and had seen the fire alarm there because there was no decision made. It was already made before he got there if it was locked. Watch. No hesitancy at all. And now the interesting thing is that when you see the sign on the floor, we go back to the other image, and I have it highlighted in red here for you. You can see it. But the image that they took after I went through and broke down each scene, this showed the least part of the sign. This is obviously the call for people asking for the evidence. They bring out this picture, but it still leaves the implication that he could have done it accidentally, or it could have been a mistake. And the lack of signs, obviously, there wasn't enough warning, and I pulled it and I thought it would open the door. Now that holds no water. This was obvious. So what happens? Does he get thrown in jail for insurrection, for subverting democracy? Is he arrested with a felony? Is he removed from Congress? Well, that remains to be seen.
Pay the fine. 3 months from now, it'll be dismissed, and I'll be able to just continue to serve my district.
You mean it'll
Wait,
be dismissed,
what?
like it'll be expunged?
Wait a second,
Pay the
what?
fine.
I want to make sure I understood that. I thought it would take a little bit longer. I mean, it was just released, and here's the court date. What about the timing? Well, thank God we have a war going on. Thank we have a shooter on the loose in Maine. Thank God that the court date took place and it literally was released in the same period of time, right before he came out. So this soundbite could bury the lead. I wonder if that was planned that way. Let's find out.
Pay the fine. 3 months from now, it'll be dismissed, and I'll be able to just continue to serve my district.
You mean it'll be dismissed, like it'll be expunged from your record?
I believe so, yes.
That's the deal?
Yes, yeah.
With Capitol Police?
ACD, the DCAG.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Democrat district attorney. Democrat Representative Jamaal Bowman says he struck a deal with fellow Democrat D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab to have the fire alarm charges expunged from his record once he pays a fine. Well, shouldn't we have an investigation with this new evidence? Should he really just be able to get off scot-free? Is that where we've come to so far? And then so back to where we used to be, a lawless country that was the Wild West. And we came here and we did things that weren't necessarily following a common code in the better government, the better United States of America, but one that had no rules and no focus and no morals. It seems like we're regressing. I thought they were the progressive party, just the nuts straight and giving it to you absolutely straight as I always do. What do we expect from the same old DC that couldn't find the owner of the cocaine bag that was in the White House? Hunter. Oh, excuse me. If they would have hunted for it, maybe they would have found out. Or maybe the FBI watching Biden for 15 years, we found out this week, with zero recourse, as they suspected all along that he was taking money from foreign governments. The second thing that I wonder about is this guy broke the law. He put lives in danger. There really is no other way to cut it. My father was a captain of the fire department, and every false alarm detracted and took away from somebody who maybe needed EMS, or there was a real fire, or maybe there was a cat in the tree. But either way, pulling that alarm most assuredly could have put people's lives in danger. He subverted democracy. Isn't that the whole narrative? What happened? Were we too busy chasing down insurrectionist grandmas to actually do a proper investigation? Now that we have the intent video, shouldn't there be some charges that are a little less than an expungement and a slap on the wrist? Rules for thee, but not for me. What would happen to you if you went and pulled a fire alarm? I challenge you, go on a visit of Congress. Go to the Smithsonian. Heck, go to even a grocery store and pull the fire alarm and stand there and watch what happens. I promise you, expungement and 3 months of a small fine and everything will be okay because you've got a buddy who works in the district attorney's office. No, not for you, but definitely for them. This guy is a putz. He threw a fit, as I showed you before, and this is how he acts. He's a petulant nuance of a man. He's unstable, and he should be removed from Congress immediately. Not because we disagree, not because he's a petulant turd, but because this man lied to his constituents and to the American people, and that should have consequences. If this was January 6th, he would be in prison, held indefinitely, no habeas corpus, it would be suspended, and he would be considered a domestic terrorist according to the rules. The faith in American people is waning. We are waning, and our politicians are not instilling confidence. And although mobs and people seeking justice with torches and pitchforks isn't the way to get things done, either is expecting these clowns to hold each other accountable, ever. The problem is usually when we look to people who have some sort of mental instability, they can't fix it themselves. They need help. Why? Because their brain is part of the problem. When we look at overspending in our borders and we look at taxation and we look at a lack of a moral code with our politicians, they're not the ones to solve it because their brains and their lack of ethics are the problem. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We're live tonight, Friday. We've got everybody in the house. Amy, Leroy, heck, Mike might even be here. Olivia's going to be here. Stop on by. You can find us on Spreely.tv and click the Freedom Hub, and you can get on Spreely Social, Spreely Video, and Spreely Swiss Army Knife of all sorts of different stuff. Stop on by and take a look and join the show. You can also go to thedumbshow.com, get yourself some shirts, some hats, some coffee, and all that. I will see you tonight at 8 o'clock live for the Don't Unfriend Me Show. God bless. Take care of each other and call your congressman or woman and maybe leave a thought about Jamaal Bowman and how you disagree with how he gets off scot-free and you get left carrying the bag. Thanks so much, folks. See you tonight.